Welcome and tervetuloa to the 29th Filmfest Hamburg. Today for our virtual Q&A with the director of the film The Gravedigger's Wife. Please welcome Khadar Ayderus Ahmed. Hi, how are you doing?
Hello.
The Gravedigger's Wife world premiered in Cannes this year in the exquisite selection of the Semaine de la Critique. So a very good start for a first feature. Congrats for that, Khadar. Let me ask a first question. Have you ever met a gravedigger whose story inspired you to do your film? Or how did you come up with the professional background of your protagonist?
First of all, thank you for having me here. I'm really happy, and thank you for the congratulations. And Hamburg has a very special place in my heart because we did, the post-production there, and with my colleagues. So yeah. To answer your question, I have seen some gravediggers in front of the hospital, back in the days when I was really, really a kid, on my way to school, but I never really paid attention to them. I never really knew, who they were or what they were doing. But I've always been, curious to about them. So before I started the development of this film, I didn't really know anything about them, except that I used to see them in front of the hospital. The story was, inspired by a true incident that happened in my family 10 years ago, when a family member died. And then, we had to go through that Islamic ritual process of funeral. And and the last day of the funeral, my older brother asked me if I knew how easy it was to really bury someone in Africa, to which I replied no. And then, he reminded me of those gravediggers that have always been in front of the hospital. And then there was this particular character, this gravedigger, that started haunting me, really, in my sleep, at work, everywhere I went. That character wouldn't leave me alone until I really sat down to write about it. So that's how the story, came to me.
Khadar, your actors are mostly non-professionals. What is the difference working with people who are professionalized actors and people who are not used to stand in front of a camera? Especially the relationship between the couple played by Omar Abdi and Yasmin Warsame feels very intimate, very warm and very familiar. They did a great job.
The entire cast were non-professionals, everybody. I mean, Yasmin Warsame, who plays the lead actress, is a supermodel. So she really comes from a similar background to films, where she modeled for so many big brands and, names. So she knew a little bit about what a team effort is, like having people around you, the camera, the lights, and, the makeup and the costume and all this. So she was familiar with all that. And Omar, who plays the gravedigger Guled, he's a friend of mine from Helsinki, and he acted in my first short film that I wrote. And so he also had some sort of idea, but this was their first feature film, including the young boy, Mahad, is Djibutian. It was funny because we went to one school, just the second time we went to Djibouti for scouting and casting. And we visited this school that was nearby the hotel that we were staying. And we asked it, we talked to the, of course, to the head of the schools, the principals, and we told them what we wanted to do. And then so we asked them to bring one class inside at a time, because each class consists of maybe like 60 kids. And for some reason, he was the first kid that I asked it back to talk, because there was something special about him. And one thing that really captured my attention was that when I was explaining to the kids what we were doing and who we were and all that, he was really listening. He was paying attention. And I remember his friend who was standing next to him was talking to his other friends. So he asked him to stop talking and listen. And that was when he captured my attention. I was like, I want this kid back. And then they invited him back, and the rest is a history. Some of the things that I really love about working with non-professional actors is that they really give you a very authentic performance, And so with the little boy, with Mahad, I would just tell him exactly what's happening in the scene, because he never got the script, So I would just tell him what's happening, and then I would give him the freedom to really use his own words, how it fits the best. So with him, it was a little bit, improvisation, like you said.
Khadar, something that struck me while watching The Gravedigger's Wife was how you made use of the light, in order to create a feeling of tenderness, especially in the family scenes. How important was the light for your mise en scène, and how did you work on it?
The lighting plays a major role in the film, and even though the film or the story deals with such a heavy issue, I really wanted the film to be, like you said, very tender. And I didn't want it to be heavy or depressing or sad or anything. I just wanted to portray this family, with compassion, with love, with tenderness, with a little bit craziness, So we had a really long talk with Arthouse-Filmen, who's the cinematographer of the film. So this was really how I visioned the story to be, like from the beginning. I never imagined it to be dark or gray or anything like that.
Khadar, did you have to make any compromises in order to show your film to a wider audience?
No. I was really, really, really happy to have had the artistic freedom to do the film how I wanted to do it. And with such incredible editor from Hamburg, Sebastian Thimmler, we really played with the material a lot, and we did some significant change. So it really came out as exactly even better than how I actually wanted to be like.
Okay, Khadar. Thank you very much for being with us here today and answering our questions. We are looking forward to having you here in Hamburg for real and not just virtual. And I wish you all the best and see you then.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for the conversation. And I can't wait to be there in person to share the film with the German audiences for the first time. So see you soon. Thank you.